Viewer discretion is advised. There is some somewhat good news coming from Dallas. The aunt of Cedric Jackson, Crystal Jackson, has been arrested. A round of applause for Dallas. Here in Houston, we're still waiting on Brittany Bowens to be arrested. Crystal Jackson was arrested for child endangerment. Houston, we got to get it together. Brittany Bowens is still walking around here. She should be charged with at least the same things. And as a person from Houston, I'm jealous. I am jealous to the fact that Houston always has to play the second to Dallas. But it's not my doing, it's our leaders here. Brittany Bowens, she should be in jail because she endangered the life of Malia Davis. She said that Darren was abusive. So you're gonna catch the plane, text this man and say all type of ugly things to him while your child is in his care. If that isn't child endangerment, I don't know what is. But my hat's off to the Dallas Police Department for not wasting time to quickly apprehend all of the suspects. Again, my hat's off to you guys. Crystal Jackson, like Brittany Bowens, tried to lie her way out of the situation. But I'm glad that the authorities in Dallas were just not having it. And we'll get into those lies later.
Yeah, the mother of Cedric Jackson was understandably overwrought as she spoke about her young son surrounded by family and friends. Her son found, of course, dead in a Rowlett landfill earlier this week. Now, the group released balloons doing their best to make sense of something that is still hard to explain. Family members printed shirts with Jackson's photo, acknowledging that even in death, the toddler managed to bring people together.
I'd give anything to have my baby back with me right now, just to hold him one more time, just to tell him how much I love him, how much we miss him.
And there are still many questions surrounding Jackson's death. His cause of death has not yet been released. There are also questions about how CPS placed the boy in a home where 27-year-old Cedric Jackson also lived. Johnson had a criminal history which should have prevented that. But Johnson is now charged with injury to a child after he admitted to investigators that after the toddler became unresponsive, he took him to a dumpster. And in addition to the investigation into Jackson's death, there will likely be a state inquiry into CPS's handling of their case. Reporting live in Dallas, Jack Heiberger, NBC5.
Thank you, Jack.
Crystal Jackson said she woke up at 6 a.m. and noticed that her boyfriend and nephew were missing. She then called Cedric Johnson and confronted him about why he and the boy were missing. She then calls 911 to report that Cedric was missing. But she didn't say Cedric and Cedric were missing. Here is where the lies come in. Johnson admitted in an affidavit that the 18-month-old boy made a mess with ketchup packets, and then Johnson tightly swallowed him to restrict his movement and placed him on the floor. Johnson then said that he waited until 12:30 a.m. to unwrap the boy, but Cedric then threw up and later was unresponsive. Johnson then claimed to have performed CPR on the boy for about 30 to 45 minutes. But seeing that his efforts were fruitless, he then drove Cedric to another location and left his body in a dumpster. Crystal Jackson, she said that she put the boy to bed at 11. But how could she have put him to bed at 11 if Cedric Johnson said that he didn't unwrap the boy who was laying on the floor until 12:30? Somebody's lying, and it is Crystal Jackson. Crystal Jackson looks like one of these low self-esteem, no pride having woman, and would do anything for a man. Cedric Johnson said that he was performing CPR on the boy for 30 to 45 minutes. No one sleeps that hard. You did not go to sleep through all of that. And to further prove that you tried to cover up for Cedric Johnson, is that you originally told authorities that you saw Cedric Johnson's father leaving the house, and he was arrested first. But they kind of unraveled your lies and arrested Cedric. Crystal Jackson said that Cedric was last seen wearing only his diaper. But if she was asleep during that time, how would she know what he had on? More lies. Cedric Jackson was placed in his aunt Crystal Jackson's care by Child Protective Services in May, under an agreement with the child's biological parents. Investigators are looking into why Crystal Jackson's boyfriend, Cedric Johnson, was caring for Cedric Jackson instead of her. The reason is she's a sorry woman with already a house full of children. So what makes her qualified to care for a child? This sorry piece of a woman knew that Cedric Johnson was abusing this child. It is reported that he's done it before. Why would she allow that to be done to her nephew? Maybe she has something against those people, which is her niece. You gotta watch people, and especially your relatives. It says that a forensic interview with a juvenile witness also confirmed that Johnson would often wrap the boy too tightly, and it caused him to cry. The witness added that he heard Cedric cry late that night and then suddenly stopped before the boy disappeared. Crystal Jackson, she's a liar. The child in the home said that they heard Cedric cry late that night and then suddenly stopped. You mean to tell me, Crystal Jackson, that you slept through all of that? No one is going to believe that. Police arrested Cedric Johnson and charged him with a first-degree felony. It says that police believe that Johnson caused serious bodily injury when he wrapped Cedric, which compressed his airway. They also are blaming him for not seeking medical attention immediately. Just like Darian Vince, this sucker got scared, panicked, and went and threw the child in a dumpster. Cedric Johnson has a criminal history, including abandoning and endangering a child with intent to return. What that is, I don't know. He's also been arrested for prostitution, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. It says that Johnson was arrested for prostitution while his 4-month-old daughter was left alone at his apartment. I'm going to take a good guess at this. I guess that Cedric Jackson sells some type of drugs, has some money, and that's why Crystal Johnson didn't want to turn him in, because she didn't want to lose her cash cow. It's proof that Cedric Johnson is a trick. He loves prostitutes. Why else would this woman not say anything about her own nephew being murdered? Crystal Jackson is one evil woman. This woman saw it all happen, allowed it to happen, and tried her best to cover it up. The court documents of her timeline of lies goes as follows. At 6:18 a.m., July 10th, Crystal Jackson calls 911 to report someone abducted her nephew. At 4:35 p.m., July 10th, Jackson repeats a story about a juvenile in their home, reporting a man took the boy in the middle of the night. At 5:17 p.m., July 10th, Crystal Jackson finally admitted that 2 other children were in the home at the time of the alleged abduction. Then at 5:20, she says that her boyfriend was also in the home. At 6:05 p.m., July 10th, Crystal Jackson then tells police she crawled over Johnson when she noticed CJ was missing. She also tells police that she told Johnson and 5 children to leave the home before she called 911. Now, why the hell would she do that? Did she kill the baby? And did Cedric Jackson, like Darian Vince, is taking blame for what she did? At 11:45, July 10th, Jackson is interviewed by FBI agent. She changes her story and says she realizes CJ was missing at 5 a.m. Then at 1:30 a.m., July 11th, the next day, Jackson changed her story again and said she woke up at 2 a.m., July 10th, and saw the toddler was gone. On July 11th at 2:15 a.m. in the morning, Johnson tells investigators this story about how he unwrapped the toddler from the swaddle and dumped him in the trash. But did they ask him, was Crystal Jackson aware and present during all of this? Authorities say that Jackson lied to law enforcement for approximately 19 hours regarding the amount of time she knew the child was missing. After Johnson's arrest, this little, chunky, crusty-lipped, good weed-smoking woman said that he wouldn't do this. That's why you're in jail, up under a $35,000 bail. It's the middle of the month, so I know you're broke. So you just sit right there in jail until they enhance your charges. Crystal Jackson, by far, is way worse than Brittany Bowens. This woman, I say she killed her own nephew looking at Crystal Jackson, I think that she thought it was funny to see her nephew crying, not being able to move. Crystal Jackson, she tried to set Cedric Johnson up by putting it out there that a man was seen leaving with a child. I'm quite sure someone in the apartment complex knows that Cedric lives there. So she was hoping that maybe if they just went along with that she would get off. But I'm glad the police in Dallas are not going for it. I'm just hoping that the police in Houston take notes and go on and get after Brittany Bowens. This woman, Crystal Jackson, already has 6 children. 2 by Cedric and 4 by who knows. So why would they put the children or put little Cedric in her care? What were the circumstances involved for them, for CPS to even get involved in this child's life? What exactly was going on? You have to watch people around you, even people within your family, because not everyone is a loving human being. Some people are pure evil and will make it their business, will go out of their way to harm you, your feelings, whatever. Will kill your children, will kill you. And I keep saying this all the time, that people need to make better decisions who they have around them. Your inner circle, you have to be cautious and selective about who you let within your inner circle. I'm tired of seeing these women who I say have low self-esteem. They're always overweight. And they don't have this movie star image. So any man that comes along, these women are going to hold on tight. And it seems that they always meet these men who are pure evil. Will hurt the woman, will kill the woman, will kill her children or anybody that's around. Why would they, as they say, swaddle an 18-month-old child so tight that it suffocates the child? And the aunt sat back and watched it. These people need a death penalty. These people do not need to sit up in jail on taxpayers' dollar, sucking up valuable air. These people need to be put down like a rabid animal. So I'm hoping that here in Houston, y'all would take notes from Dallas. I hate saying that because I'm from Houston, but Dallas is doing a good job.